Well, guys, I'm sure you've heard about the proposed gun laws that President Obama and Vice President Biden are pushing pretty hard now in not only the recent wake, but they're still riding the wake of the Sandy Hook shooting, which I'm going to bring that up a couple of times in this video, and never misunderstand me. The Sandy Hook shooting was a tragedy. It was really awful what happened to those kids in Connecticut, and I take absolutely no respect away from them or their families, but I'm just going to say that before I start this video. What Obama and Biden are pushing, they're pushing what's an AWB, or an assault weapons ban, and with that, they're pushing a restriction on high-capacity magazines and guns that when you pull the trigger, they load another round into the chamber, which is pretty much every gun in production. So we're going back to the Old West here, guys, the revolvers and lever-action rifles, which I'm okay with. I like those guns, but I also like my AR and my 1911, but whatever. Now, in all of their talks and press conferences, and with the statement that Obama released a couple days after the shooting, they're masking this assault weapons ban as a way to deter mass shootings, which, I mean, you probably won't, but you might. Obama actually went so far as to make I think he called it a task force, but it's pretty much a committee that was headed up by Vice President Biden and involved some members of his cabinet that were tasked with making this assault weapons ban, since Biden wrote the weapons ban of 1994. So he figured, hey, he did it once, maybe he'll probably succeed again and take our guns away to another extent. Now, what Biden is proposing would be requiring what are called universal background checks, which are background checks on anyone who buys a gun under any circumstances at any venue. Well, so if you buy one online, which is hard enough as it is, if you buy one at a gun show, if you buy one at a store, if you buy one anywhere, it's universal background check time. And forget that 3-day waiting period like we have here. You just, everyone is going to have a background check run on them, no matter what. Which, honestly, I can't say I'm terribly against, because if you run a background check on me, it's going to come up clean. I mean, I'm 18. I can't buy an assault rifle yet, but if this passes, I won't ever be able to. But if you run a background check on me, you won't find anything. You'll find a speeding ticket, but I'm not really super stressed about that making me ineligible to buy a weapon. But, whatever. But if you run a background check on a crazy person, someone with, mental instability in their history, I want that person to be unable to buy a gun, because, if you look at most mass shootings, the person was probably crazy, or, a little bit tweaked up. That's just me. One thing, the other thing Biden's proposing is the outlaw of high-capacity magazines. That kind of pisses me off. At home, I have a Ruger 10/22, an AR-15, a Winchester shotgun, which is semi-automatic, which is illegal, and a Stag Arms 308, a Marlin 270, and all of which take a magazine. Now, the Stag Arms 308 and the Marlin 270 aren't over 10 rounds, so they're good. But the Ruger 10/22 and the AR-15 both take 30-round magazines. In Biden's eyes, that's too much, apparently. They're trying to outlaw any magazine over 10 rounds to deter mass shootings, which is, what they're going for here. We have 7 30-round magazines for that AR, because that's what it shoots. They don't really mass produce 10-round magazines for the AR-15. Now, I know they'd make them, but who buys a 10-round magazine for an AR-15? Nobody. Nobody buys one. Now, in the wake of the Sandy Hook thing, you'll see me looking down. I have notes, lots of notes in my little notebook that I, take notes in. But in the wake of the Sandy Hook shooting, they took a poll. Now, if they'd taken the poll before the Sandy Hook shooting, the numbers would have been different. Not probably, they would have been different. But they took a poll, and most Americans now favor stricter gun laws. And Obama said that in his not a press conference, but his statement release at the White House, and he emphasized most. And when I hear that, I'm thinking like 80%. I'm like, oh crap, we're really screwed. No. 52% of Americans favor stricter gun laws. So technically, most. But 52%, I'm not as concerned as I was. I'm still concerned, but not as much as I was. So I got to looking around on the internet, and I found this website that had some percentages on it. And one of the questions they asked for their poll was, how much do you think each item in this list contributes to gun violence in America? So these are showing the top answers by percentage. Sorry, I kind of lost my words there. Inadequate background checks starts at number 1. So Biden's kind of right on track there. It's 56% of the polling audience put that at number 1, or a very high answer. Inadequate treatment of mentally ill people. Background checks. It's right up there at 56%. It's at the same percentage as inadequate background checks. Next is lack of individual responsibility. So that's just personal accountability, and possibly mental illness, or just background checks would fix that, in my opinion. Just don't give stupid people guns. The next is availability of assault weapons at 45%, which is what they're trying to eradicate. The sale of assault weapons, being assault rifles and possibly semi-automatic pistols. The availability of high-capacity magazines is at 42%, which is third from the bottom. Availability of semi-automatic pistols is at 41%, which is second from the bottom. And video game and TV violence is at 38%, which is at the very bottom of the list. So I really don't want to hear that in anybody else talking about that, because almost no one thinks that's a problem. They asked another question. What kind of priority should Obama and Congress give to these things in this list? The number 1 answer, you know what it is? The economy. Not gun violence, not gun control, the economy. They're worried about Obama's stupid economic decisions, as am I. 68% said the economy is the number 1 thing the president should be working on, which I completely agree with that. Number 2, gun control? No. Reducing federal spending. So, more of Obama's stupid economic decisions. 49%, big jump down there, said reducing federal spending. Third, gun control? No. Restructuring Obama's tax system. I mean, obviously we're not super concerned about gun control. These numbers were taken before the Sandy Hook shooting, I might add. Number 4 is making stricter gun control laws. 32%. 68% said the economy. 5. Slowing spending on Medicare and Social Security, 29%. After that is addressing gun violence, 28%. I mean, those numbers to me say we're not, as a nation, terribly stressed about gun violence. If you take our guns, I mean, there might be more gun violence, but we're not really stressed about it. Below addressing gun violence was immigration and global warming. Those two, obviously, terribly important departments of our government. Personally, myself, I've already went over this, but it's in my notes and I'm following them, that I favor background checks on people. I will gladly submit to a background check at any point. My dad has gone through several background checks for his concealed carry, and that's his concealed carry, which is I believe it's a Ruger 38 revolver, is the only gun in our house that is registered. In the state of Kentucky, you do not have to register your, sorry, somebody followed me on Twitter, threw me off. You do not have to register your weapons, which is the way it should be. I mean, I don't want you to know I have my guns. Now, I want to talk about maybe some proposed solutions by other people, whether in the government, on YouTube, or just around, that I've heard. I've heard arm the teachers to prevent mass school shootings. Now, okay, I can understand that. You don't want to arm every teacher, because then the kids know, hey, every teacher's got a gun. That means we can get that gun and go shoot somebody if they're in a different gang or they're mad at them for some reason that day. No, don't do that. Arm 4 teachers. Arm the senior math teacher, the football coach, the principal, and the female janitor. Nobody knows who has those guns. The teachers know. The principal knows. That's it. Some guy walks in with a gun, math teacher drops to one knee, puts one in his head. Mass shooting averted. Nobody knows math teacher has a gun. All the people knows there's guns in that school. Who's going to come mess with that school? Not me. I don't want to get shot. Now, if you just arm the teachers, how is that going to prevent shootings like in Colorado, in the movie theater? Everyone in this nation needs a concealed carry permit and a pistol. Everyone that clears a background check needs a concealed carry and a pistol. I don't care if it's a little .22. You can kill a person with a .22 pretty fast. You can kill a rabbit, you can kill a person. Sorry. I know there are people out there that don't approve of guns. They don't like guns. It's because guns kill people, and they do. They'll kill people pretty fast, but they'll protect you like no other. Some guy breaks into your house with a gun, and you're not a gun person. I mean, your baseball bat might be intimidating, but he'll shoot your ass from 20 feet. You got no shot with that baseball bat. I mean, that's just the way it works. That's physics, people. At this point in the campaign for stricter gun control laws, Obama's seen that it wasn't very popular before Sandy Hook, and that he got a little boost after Sandy Hook. He is, at this point, he is basically threatening executive action at this point, meaning he will bypass Congress and pass laws on his own, which personally I don't think is fair, because this is the government by the people and of the people, not by the president that can do whatever the president wants. That's not the way it works. I voted. I didn't elect him. He shouldn't be allowed to do whatever he wants. I'm running out of things to say, but President Obama's talking about the teacher's bravery at Sandy Hook when I read a story online that one teacher hid her kids in a closet, and when the man with the gun walked by, I won't be saying his name in this video, I will not publicize him. When the man with the gun walked by, she told him that her kids were in the gym. I believe she was shot. President Obama made a great deal of the teacher's bravery. Now, with that bravery, if she would have had a Kel-Tec PF9 on her hip, that day might have gone different. Just saying. Now, I'm going to do one last thing. I'm going to say one thing about the current gun laws in America. There are states like Kentucky and like probably 80% of the country where you can go out and buy a gun whenever you want to. You pass a 3-day waiting period, maybe a background check, you get your gun. You can go up to Knob Creek gun ranges, maybe 10 minutes from my house. That's where I'd go. There are other states like Alaska and Vermont where you can go down to Knob Creek or your local gun store, maybe Dick's Sporting Goods or Walmart or whatever, and buy a gun. No waiting period, no background check. You hand them the money, they'll hand you your gun. Completely unrestricted. I find that a little bit lax, but that's the way they do it. There aren't very many people in Alaska, and Vermont seems to be pretty tame. There are states like California, Iowa, New York, Nebraska, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New Jersey, and Hawaii, where you need to prove that you are either a celebrity or that you need a gun. Now, proving that you're a celebrity, there are some crazy fans out there. Don't get me wrong. I watched the movie Selena the other day. She got shot by some crazy fan. She would have had a gun. Might have been different. But you just have to prove that you're a celebrity or that you need a gun. Now that word need, that's hard. Because it's hard to say that you need a gun. I absolutely think that we need guns. I want my guns. I need my gun for protection. I don't need a baseball bat. I keep one, but I don't need it. Some guy walks in with a baseball bat. I don't want an even playing field. I want to have a gun. I need to have a gun. Just me. Then, after that, there are states like, I'm going to hold it up here so I don't look down so much. This really isn't better, is it? No. There are states like Nebraska. Sorry, I said that earlier. I was mistaken. Nebraska, Kansas, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Washington, D.C., where your right to own and carry a gun is denied. That's just it. You can't have one. Sorry. I drew a map in my notes. The lines off to the one direction are prove a need. The lines in both directions are you can have one, and if it's colored in, there are no gun laws. Now you'll see words here. It's because I wrote one shocking fact that should never be ignored. And this goes right along with the United Kingdom and their gun laws and knife laws and weapon laws. Chicago, which is in Illinois, and Washington, D.C. lead the nation in gun-related deaths. Yeah. Now, let's go over gun laws again. Washington, D.C., and Illinois, where Chicago is, your right's denied to carry a gun. I mean, what am I missing here? You can't carry a gun. You're more likely to get shot because the criminals don't care, obviously. They're already doing whatever they're doing to be criminals. They aren't going to pay attention to gun laws. I'll have my gun to protect myself, thank you. Oh, goodness. I just don't even get it. And, like, one more stat before I end this. In the United Kingdom, no, we'll start with America first. In America, there are, I think the number I saw on a website was 554 gun-related crimes per 1,000 people. Sounds like a lot. It sounds like too many for me. Personally, I'll take no gun-related crimes. Excuse me. But that's just me. In the United Kingdom, where guns are banned, you cannot carry a gun. Where knives over 3 inches or that lock at all are banned, there were 2,034 gun-related crimes per 1,000 people. 100,000 people, excuse me. I mean, am I missing something? There is literally 4 times the gun violence in a country where guns are not allowed than there is in a country where we can stretch our freedom, not stretch, where we can use our freedoms to protect ourselves. Now, Obama's trying to take that away. I ain't all about that. That's just me. Thanks for watching the video.